Peace, YouTube. What it do? Your boy Justice Bass back with another video. This is it's a brief one, but it's a powerful one, and it's letting you know that it's getting real. The battlefield, family, and to certain people, like I always say in my videos, the powers that want to be certain things they don't want us, the melanated people. So this is in Alabama. I don't know if people have been familiar with the news of what's going on. You know, they're trying to get rid of what is it, Governor DeSantis in Florida trying to get rid of critical race theory and get rid of black culture, period, basically. So in Alabama, I'm going to read you an article. It's in Tuscaloosa. Uh, so they say the school system looking into allegations set to begin focus groups after student walkout. They put together a protest. Tuscaloosa County School System Superintendent Dr. Kerry Johnson released a statement Friday evening in response to a walkout organized by students Wednesday at Hillcrest High School. More than 200 students walked out of class in response to allegedly being told by school leaders to omit certain events from a student-led Black History Month program. They said basically they couldn't talk about Black history prior to 1970. So what about the Panthers? What about the Jim Crow era? What about all the great contributions that melanin rich people made to society prior to 1970? Why are they trying to omit key information in history? So they said that we are putting together a plan to make sure our Hillcrest High students have an opportunity to express their concerns openly and honestly, Johnson said. Listening to them will let us know the right steps to take to ensure all students know they are valued. This work will begin Monday. Students said they were told to leave out some major historical moments, including slavery and the civil rights movement. The program is scheduled for February 22nd. Ty Blocker, the TCSS Director of Student Services, also spoke out about the protest. He said the school system is still looking into the allegations made by the students, but he could not speak on if there would be any consequences for the teacher or administrator. Students said gave them the direction. From a system standpoint, we don't censor students fully expressing themselves, Blocker said. Through Black history, we want our students to be aware of their history. That is something that not only do we allow, that's something that we will welcome and support. The school system has started to plan the next steps for students and faculty at Hillcrest, with focus groups planned to begin Monday. We just have to find out more information as how this all started. Excuse me, Blocker said. One of our plans is to speak with our students to find out how all this got started. We have a plan to have focus groups where we meet with our students in small groups to begin talking with them, and also to some of our community leaders to find out how all of this came about and what we can do to prevent it in the future. Blocker said the school system wants to identify a group of student leaders who help organize the protest and sit down with them to find out more about their experience. Blocker said the goal is to allow those students to drive the conversation with administration, school leaders, and other community members. A critical part of this is finding out what our students want, Blocker said, what will make them feel more welcome, and the fact that they can express themselves when it comes to Black history or anything related to diversity. We are a school that welcomes that. Blocker said there are still some details to be sorted out about the focus groups, including how many people will be in each group and what people other than students will be involved. He also said that the school has discussed the possibility of surveying students anonymously to find out more. It's just crazy. And this could be traumatizing to some students when they tell you, don't talk about this, only talk about that. Omit this, bring in this. Yeah, it's crazy. These devils, they're trying to implement, you know what I'm saying? It's really intimidation to a degree too, because it's like, how are you going to tell somebody that they can't learn about their own culture, their own history, their own past? Because the past symbolizes the present and the future. You have to know your past to know where you're going to this day. To this day. But it's like, I'm not surprised because they've been trying to omit things since the beginning of time when it comes to whitewashing the pages. I mean, look at the Bible. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. They don't omit it like 20, 30 books or more maybe. Who knows? In the Vatican, the Pope has the original Bible. They keep it deep, deep, deep hidden, probably in some chambers in the Vatican in Europe somewhere. But end of the day, my point is, that's why I'm so thankful that my mom homeschooled me, home tutored me, taught me about Marcus Garvey, taught me about Frederick Douglass, Patrice Lumumba, all of that when I was a little lad. So the thing is, we have to practice that and pass down information to the next generation. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that the slave did back in the days. The slaves, they kept information passed down and they kept it hidden, but they kept it within their own culture. You know what I'm saying? And they moved in secrecy, silence but secrecy. You know what I'm saying? But they want to get rid of our culture. Period. It's obvious. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing new. But the key is you have to teach your own. You know what I'm saying? Cultivate your own. Like when you have crops, vegetables, you have to cultivate them with water, cultivate it with sunlight, cultivate it with the proper soil. So when it comes to the kids, the seeds, you got to give them the proper sun, the proper water, the proper knowledge so they can succeed. Because what they're up against is 10 times worse than what we were up against coming up as teenagers. Because it's so many factors, there's so many different equations in the puzzle when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, this system. Wow. But I'm just glad that the people came together and realized the power is in the people. In Alabama, they had a protest, walk out, because the teachers in the system is telling them they cannot know their culture and they cannot. Right there in Black History Month, what a slap in the face. Mm. Tell them they cannot be taught anything prior to 1970. Because mainly all the contributions that melanin rich people did was prior to 1970. I mean, we're still doing contributions to this day, of course, but all the major contributions came prior to 1970. All the major moves, the culture and history came prior to 1970, but of course, they don't want you to know that. Protons, electrons always cause explosions. Teach your children. Homeschooling is good as well, but teach them and let them know what they're up against when they go into this wicked system. You are ready.